Hi, I'm the Plant Gals, and today I'm going to be showcasing the strangest, weirdest, all the best and spookiest plants in my collection. I love collecting strange plants from all over the world. It's why I started collecting plants, it's why I continue to collect plants, and why I'm still passionate about doing it. I think having a unique collection and some really different, weird things it just makes me happy, and that's why I collect plants and I love getting more plants. So today I'm going to be showcasing the weirdest stuff that I've got. I have some philodendron in strange shapes. I have some plants that even I post on Reddit and they're like, donate that to a botanical garden because it's so weird and cool. I have lots of really cool stuff, and I am so excited to share with you today. We have all sorts of genus. I'm going to show off some philodendron with strange shaped leaves. I'm going to show off some cheap plants. I'm going to show off some expensive plants. I'm really going to go across the whole price range, and that way if you're a beginner, you can, get some of these plants for less than $20. Or if you're experienced and have a collection that you can kind of sell from and invest back into, then I have some really cool stuff that's in the higher up price range that you could be able to own. So I am so excited to share all these plants with you. I've probably said that a million times, but I just am. This is probably going to be my favorite video ever to film. So yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so first up, if you follow me on Instagram, you probably knew that this was coming. It's part of the reason that inspired this video. There's a couple plants that inspired this video, but I was able to get a variegated money tree. I got one with the speckled variegation, which I am so excited about because that is the one that I wanted. There's some with sectoral variegation, there's some with albo marginata variegation, all sorts, like internal variegation, external variegation, but you can see that mine has the spotty speckled variegation, which I am so excited about. It currently has 3 leaves. Sorry, I'm a little bit shaky. But yeah, I haven't had this guy very long, so I can't really comment on the care of it. Luckily, this new kind of rare plant shop opened up in Edmonton called Wilderly, and I went the day they opened because I saw that they had these variegated money trees and I wanted one so badly. It's my boyfriend and I's favorite plant is the Pachira aquatica, which is the formal name for the money tree. And he's grown quite a large money tree, so I'm gonna have to ask him for care tips on the money tree, I guess, even though he's definitely not the best with plants. But yeah, I was just so pumped to have it. Something that's really cool about these plants, as you can see here, is it's actually grafted. So the stem is split here and here, and then the actual variegated money tree has been grafted onto it. I can't wait for this to become like this big, exciting plant. I already love it so much. It is probably my favorite plant in my collection right now, and it just has so much to offer variegation-wise, leaf shape-wise. It's on a weird stem. It just exudes weird. It's got this long, woody, kind of funky stem, and then it has, it's really crazy speckled variegation. And on top of that, it has these really cute little leaves. Plant Me actually used to say that they're like throwing hands because they look like hands. So yeah, I can't wait for this little guy to throw hands and put out new little leaves. I'm so stoked to own this. This is probably the most expensive plant on this plant price range. I can't exactly remember what I paid for it, but these guys probably I would expect. I think I paid about $150, and these plants I've never really seen personally for less than $700. But that's because I saw them when I first started getting into plants, and then I saw them now and they were $150 to $200, I think, somewhere in that price range. So if you can find it, that's killer. Finding it is going to be the problem, so maybe just keep an extra $200 in your bank account in case you come across one of these guys. But yeah, like I said, this new rare plant place opened up in Edmonton, and they just happened to have it, which was so cool. I can't wait. I'm gonna get lots of plants from there, I'm sure. I already have 2 from there. And yeah, I can't believe that I own this plant. I'm so excited about it. But yeah, that is my Pachira aquatica, my variegated money tree. I will show them off one more time. Boop, boop. Okay. So, next up, I think I am going to show off I got this from the same plant shop. This is a Alophaglossum. Oh, and I'm going to put all the names on the screen, so you'll probably have seen the name for the last plant too. But this is an Alophaglossum decorotum. It was labeled as Alophaglossum califolium bloom, but it actually isn't that, because I posted on Reddit and somebody who is super nerdy about epiphytic ferns, which is what this is, was able to tell me that it's a decorotum, and it gets its name because it has a decorated stem. So it has all these little golden curly things that go along the stem and also on the edges of the leaves. So that's what makes this guy so special. I have no idea how to care for it. When I asked for care tips, people were telling me to just donate it to the botanical garden in Edmonton, which is the Mud Art. And I was like, I mean, if they want it, but I kind of want it and I paid for it, so I think I'm gonna keep it. It's just a really spectacular plant. It's got this really thick leaf with just the coolest shape, and it has these undulating edges. I can show this way. You can see it really well. And I just am obsessed with it. I haven't owned it very long. I have no idea what you have to pay to get this plant. I've seen it once. I bought it. I personally, this guy sold for $80, and I don't know anything. I think they sell them on Equigenera, but it looks like they've been out of stock for a long time. Equigenera is a plant exporter, and like, yeah, I couldn't tell you much about it. I know it's epiphytic, I know it's a fern, it's growing in moss, which is the way they recommend you grow it. Apparently they can be very hardy, so I don't think I'm going to keep it at very high humidity, but we'll see. That could change with time. I know that this is crazy. I've never actually owned a fern other than this one, because when I got into houseplants, everyone's like, you can't own ferns. You're not ready for a fern. Ferns will ruin your passion for houseplants because you're just going to kill it. So I never owned any ferns, even though there's lots of really cool ones. And I bought this and didn't actually know it was a fern, because, you know, you think of the ferns with their frilly little edges and they're all so pretty, like a maidenhair fern. And yeah, now I own my first fern, and it's extremely kind of funky and rare. So I don't know what to do about that. But yeah. I think next up I'm going to go with something in the cheaper price range. So this is I believe, I'm not very good with my species of alocasia, and I don't even know like the official name for it, but this is a dragon scale alocasia. So, and this is the only alocasia I own. So it has these beautiful leaves that look like dragon scales. That is the newest leaf. This is one of the older leaves. And then something that I think a lot of people don't talk about, that is part of the reason I love this plant, is because of, look at how crazy the back of the leaf looks. Definitely one of the weirdest plants I have. I bought this for $15 from Lace and Leaves, which is another plant shop in Edmonton, and I absolutely adore it. It is so funky and unique. It's been pretty easy to grow too. It has a new leaf coming in. You'll see these everywhere. Sometimes they even get them at places like Home Depot. So I don't know if they specifically get this variety of dragon scale. Like I said, I don't know the alocasias very well. I know that there's a bunch of different types of dragon scale. There's some more green ones, some more silvery ones. And yeah, but it's really neat too, because if I show from the side, you can see that they're very bumpy and rigid. So they have a very 3D leaf shape. They aren't just flat. It's kind of similar to like the undulation I showed you on the last one, but it's like bumpy and puffy, which is just so cool. It is probably the most affordable one on my list, and there's a lot of really, really weird alocasia. I haven't super gotten into alocasia. I just don't really love the way that they grow, but if you wanted to own a weird plant collection, you could probably just own alocasia and you'd have a pretty sufficiently weird collection, which makes them so unique and so cool. And I really just wanted to include this guy to show that this is an affordable plant that is really easy to start your weird plant collection with. Who's next? I think I'll end the video with my philodendron. I'm gonna move on to something kind of similar but very different. Oh, and for some of these plants, I will also add in a little picture. I probably have already done it, of what it looks like mature, because not all of my plants are mature versions yet. They're all little babies. And this is an example of it, although it is quite large and it doesn't look like a baby. This is an anthurium cupulispathum. So it is known for having these extremely pillowy giant leaves when it gets mature. This is the newest leaf on it. It actually hasn't put out a leaf in my care, but this is the newest one. I will definitely post a picture of, or add in a picture of what this plant looks like when it is fully mature. It has a little growth point. Maybe it'll put out a leaf soon. I've had it for a while and it hasn't really done anything. But I got it as an Equigenera import. Somebody did a big Equigenera import, and I picked this guy out as one of the plants that I wanted because it was just so unique and really, really spectacular. It's been really easy to grow in my care. I've been having it in regular humidity. Well, I say grow, it actually hasn't grown. It hasn't put out any new leaves, but it's been healthy and happy. It's got a little bit of browning on the edges of its leaves for some reason. I think that's just low humidity or not enough water. So I'm definitely gonna up the watering on it. But yeah, like these get crazy leaves. They're huge. I mean like huge. They're pillowy and just like billowing giant leaves. And it obviously doesn't look like that right now. It's a little weird. I would put it in my weird collection as it looks right now. Definitely not the weirdest plant in my weird plant collection, but sufficiently strange, I would say. So I don't know, like I just can't wait for it to get huge when I'm not living in this dorm. I will have a lot more space in a house or something, and I will be able to increase the humidity and get this guy to be the giant that's supposed to be. So I can't wait about that. I was also, the one thing that I want to go back at that Wilderly plant shop too is they had an Amorphophallus, and if you don't know, an Amorphophallus is a corpse flower plant. I mean, there's lots of different corpse flowers, but like when you think of like the big corpse flower, I don't know, I think that's like a giganteum or something like that with giant in the title. That's the type of Amorphophallus that is like the big one. I have been thinking about it. I want to go back and get it. It's very expensive. I probably can't take care of it, but they're so cool, and if I get one, it would be the creme de la creme of my weird plant collection. I will post a picture too of an Amorphophallus and of what its flower looks like. Okay. Something that I love that I got as a very small plant. I had it when it was only 2 leaves. You've probably seen it kind of on the edge here. It started with these 2 tiny leaves down here. It is a lot bigger than that now. This is an expensive plant. Oh, I forgot to say the Cupulus pathum, this guy hanging out over here. Maybe I'll move him a bit. It is only, I think I got it for like 30 or 40 bucks. Because it was on sale. It was one of the leftovers from the Equigenera order. I have no idea what you would get it for. I've never seen anybody else that has one, at least in Canada. I'm sure there's people that do have them, but I've just never seen one. So I'm not sure what you would get it for. I don't even know if it says on its like Equigenera tag how much it originally sold for. I'm not sure. But I would say that it's in like the medium price range, like the intermediate. It's definitely not going to be as expensive as the variegated money tree or even probably the fern. It would probably be in like the $60 Canadian range. But yeah, back to my Amedria medium silver. I've seen a lot of variegated versions of these guys, but I'm actually partial to the non-variegated version. Sorry, I'm just checking. I don't want it to have thrips or anything, but it has a little bit of damage. I think that could just be from underwatering. But these guys get really, really cool leaf shapes, and you never really know what's coming next. Like, for example, I got this leaf on it, which is really unique. You can kind of see the type of shape it has. And then after that leaf, sorry, it's a little bit unstable, I got this leaf, which is just a giant leaf with some holes in it. So you never know what you're going to get. The shapes change a lot as the plant matures, and it kind of changes all the time, which I love about this plant. It is kind of like a monstera, but it's got more texture to it, a really cool kind of bluey color, which I don't know if you can really tell, but yeah, there we go. So it's kind of more silvery or bluey, which is just so really fun and cool, and I love it about this plant. So I really, really, really recommend this guy. It has been really easy to grow. I was inspired to grow it in just regular room humidity from Wild Fern. She has a really big one that she grows in regular room humidity. I had this in my cabinet and it was doing okay, but it wasn't growing very quickly. I took it out of the cabinet and it's been growing really quickly, and it loves to climb up things. So I really recommend giving it a pole, or else it's just gonna put out runners. So yeah, and it gets like, it's just a really weird, kind of funky, random plant. I really, really recommend this guy, and its care is really easy. I've owned this plant for a long time now. When I originally got it, I think I paid $80 for the 2 leaves. So this is probably going to be one of the more expensive ones, but I've seen the variegated ones go for like $65. So I think maybe they're coming down in price quite a bit. I don't actually know if the variegated one is a variegated silver one, because this is a silver one. It could just be a variegated regular one. I've seen them in person and they don't look super silvery, so I don't know. But I just prefer the non-variegated one for this one, and it is sufficiently weird on its own. So yeah, I'm really happy to be able to show that guy off to you guys. Okay, so this next segment is going to be on the strange philodendron that I own, because philodendron are so cool because they come in so many different shapes and colors and stem colors. I don't own as many philodendron as other people do, and the ones that I do own are a little bit random, I'll be honest. So I'm just gonna show off these guys. So this is a very uncommon species of philodendron. It sells for a lot of money, especially one my size. Not to be confused with the philodendron majestic, which looks nothing like this plant. This is the philodendron majesty. So it has almost completely black leaves. And they're very long and kind of like spade shaped. I adore this plant. Its stem is very similar to a pink princess, I find, like the color, that like deep burgundy red. And then yeah, the leaves themselves are this really dark color that's almost black, which is just adorable. The 2 newest leaves on this plant are very small. I don't really know why. Maybe not quite enough light, so I'm gonna try and increase the light for it. And yeah, like I got this as an Ecuagenera import. It was a philodendron, so easy to acclimate, just a totally cool plant. It's really big, and I've owned this guy for quite a while now, since maybe September, somewhere in there, and it's just grown nothing but big. It's got the healthiest, biggest roots. I don't know if you can see them in the pot, but yeah, if you want something that's just a crazy color, that I recommend, the philodendron majesty. I haven't seen a lot of it. I got mine for I think $90 as an import, and recently I sold it from an Edmonton seller for like $500 for a plant my size, which I think is a little bit crazy. It's similar to a Dark Lord, but it has a different leaf shape, and I would actually say that it's darker than a Dark Lord, so just kind of keep that in mind. If you do see one for a good price, get it. It is one of my favorite philodendron. I'm going to say that about all my philodendron, but it really, really is. And I don't think I need to put a picture up, but if I find a good picture of like some foliage or when it's like really big, because mine isn't quite mature yet, then I will include that. Okay, so next up in the weird philodendron is my Jerry horn, which has more you can see them in the light, more extra floral nectaries than any plant I've ever owned. It has so many. I have 2 in this pot, and it's just putting on a new leaf now. I'm hoping it gets a weird shape. I will definitely post a picture for this. Now, this guy doesn't look weird at all, but it gets such a strange leaf shape as it gets older. It's called a Jerry horn. I'm guessing some guy, Jerry, maybe his last name was Horn, but it looks like it has horns. It's so weird. I love it. I love that philodendron have this huge variety of leaf shape, even like a Florida Beauty. I didn't include it in this video because I include it in a lot of videos, but it's a really common plant that has a really, well, not the Florida Beauty, the Florida Green is a common plant that has a really, really cool leaf shape, and it's just so fun to have. So last up on my strange philodendron is my philodendron UPI. I'm going to post a mature picture of this guy. It has 1 new leaf coming in. Hopefully it looks really cool. But basically these get very long leaves that go skinny in the middle, and they have little ears at top, and then are fat at the bottom. I'll definitely include a picture. I only have a baby one. These are very expensive. When I first started in the plant community, these were about $700. I got mine for $60. This is probably the most expensive out of the 3 or 4 or however many weird shaped philodendrons I showed off. And philodendrons are so great for getting into weird plants because a lot of weird plants are really difficult to take care of, and these guys are so easy. Philodendron are the easiest of all plants to take care of, I swear. Even these like Joepii, like I heard that this was going to be really hard. It's not. So yeah, check him out. I really, really like this guy. And even though he doesn't look like he's going to look yet, actually this leaf is probably the closest to what it's going to look like mature, even though it sure doesn't look like much yet. I'm just so excited about this plant. And then to finish it off, I'm going to show off some that don't really fit into any category, but obviously I have to show off my boob cactus, which is a Murillo cactus, I believe. This guy's really cool because he is blue at the top, which you can see there, and then the rest of him's green because it's been touched and imported and all sorts of stuff over time. But this is one of my favorite plants. I don't grow a lot of succulents, but I do love this plant dearly. It is, weirdly enough, probably my favorite plant. I post about it so much. I just repotted it, and yeah, it is the cutest, happiest little cactus, and it makes me very happy. My boob cactus is so important to me. Oh, and that is very expensive. I don't know why. I don't know anything about cactus. It's an expensive cactus. They're like $100. I got mine for $40 from a secondhand seller. Always be looking at Facebook Marketplace for rare plants. It will hook you up. But anytime I've seen this, otherwise it's been $100 or more. And then I have my lithop, which hopefully it doesn't fall out. I know it's in the cutest little pot. But you can see my lithop there. He's very tiny. I just got pawn all over my laptop. But yeah, honestly, these guys are so cute. I love lithops. You water them like twice a year, literally. That is not an exaggeration. And they're so fun. Mine has split in half, which is why I have 2. I originally had 1. And I don't know, it split in half. It made me a second one. So that's kind of what they do. I don't know. I really, really, really recommend these guys. They're so cheap. I mean, like $5, sometimes maybe more for a rare variety, because they come in different colors. Mine's purple and orange. So mine is purple and orange, even though it's really hard to tell that right now. And yeah, I love lithops. There's so many different cool varieties. You can grow them from seed. They flower. Really, really cool. Really recommend. Probably the cheapest on this list. And then last up, it is on my cat Halloween trellis, oh my god, this guy's so hard to show. It's a Codex plant. It is a Stephania erecta. You can see it does have leaves, even though it doesn't look like it. They're on the back side here. Codex plants, super weird, super cool. You barely have to water them. They go dormant and they just live as little potatoes for a while, and then eventually they sprout out little leaves and they're happy. They just grow big long vines, and then the vines grow leaves. And I really like it. It's really unique, and it's one of the newer ones to my collection that isn't like the newest. I don't even know if that makes any sense. I've had it like a month-ish. I got it as a trade actually when I did my plant trade at the University of Alberta. So that was really, really cool. But yeah, overall, those are all my super weird plants. I have lots of weird plants. There's a lot that I haven't included. I could probably make a second video on this if you'd like that. But I was just so happy to be able to show off. It's kind of a weird video because it's like, I mean, it is a weird video because it's on weird plants. But it's basically me showing off my favorite plants, but just calling them weird. Because my favorite plants are the weird plants. So I'm so happy that I could show these off to you. If you have any questions or you want to talk or anything, just type something in the comments or DM me on Instagram. I'm the Plant Gals over on Instagram too. And yeah, just enjoy the rest of your day.